open all communication of you is all understanding how to use your vectors, communications, triangle force line connections, flight navigation lines, centers, times calculation, times pi, inner line center rotation communication system. You have to find a way to get into all levels. We're coming into the equinox line center, manifestation location of its cosmic universal line. Heart recognizes the time center and inference locations, all levels of you, tracking your system to its calculation, is putting you into modification to its singularity. Simulation high center locations over cross, high signal locations times pi. Interference location of calculus, high center line rotation to position. So in modification circles, rotation center line, rotation calculation to its vectors, is to understand how to use yourself in your avatar of calculation. All right. For example, the Earth that you're on in position, location, direction is no longer in position of its high-line center of its past, but your position, location is its past. The Earth is its past. The Angelics is its presence, and the cosmos and the universal line center is allocate location of its future. Past, present, future. 333 equals 69. You come in the universal line center, 8-line interference location times pi. Calculus high centers at diamond core. Position location, infinity 8, northwest, south, and east. Position location is all levels and your intention. What you do is all line. Okay, online, on graph, on communication, how you interact with your position location of space and time. You have to get rid of the past of the earth and get into the presence of the angelics, into the universal communication of the equinox line center that's already in position of 333. Heart, mind, and soul. Body will find its track equal location. Equinox line center in triangle force in communication of clocking. 24 signals on rotation line position location of directions. Puts you in your own line connection. All right. How's everybody doing? Let's go through over pre-flight check line centers and position directions. Grand Rising, Nikki, how's it going? Jill, Don, Terry, Johnny, Michael, Airbender, Bonnie. Don't recognize your energy patterns. Bonnie, if you're activated stream interference, I need you to get into this location directions, levels. I need you to get into your calculation. Surely when people come on, they really come into all levels of divergence, divergence _ Bonnie. Okay, so we can recognize where you are in your sectors, vectors, and quadrant system. Okay, in position location, everybody here has to be activated. And high center interference in position locations, row graph line centers are one chain of command, time frequency times pi, line center. Calculation and interference location of flight navigations, all levels in communication line system. Sharon communications, Lindsay, Gypsy, high center, Stacy, Heather communication, all levels. Sala, Val, Veronica, Ambi, Sammy, Jill, Pam, Adam. It's great to see everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. So I really want you guys to understand how to get your abundance as all levels of codes. And the only way to do that is understand the atom line center interference location of its equation. That's the only way you can understand anything, right? So yes, it's happy birthday to Sammy. Let's sing a song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sammy. Happy birthday to you. All right, there we go. So abundance communication line center, triangle force interference location in north and south and east, gives Sammy communication abundance. High line air rotation calculation, box center, calculates high center, one position location on the dollar line of rotation calculation, digital frame and position locations. There you go. In high center location. Change your abundance there, Sammy. Congratulations. Happy birthday. All right, so let's get in high center. Position of direction. Now, today, what we're going to do is position of direction. We're going to go through nature line, how to go through all levels, how to get in your emotional system. You have to learn how to balance out the weather inside you, understand the grounds of you, understanding equal line, center line, equinox location, all levels of the waters, airs, and fire. You have to understand the representation of you is navigation into your communication of your vessel. You have to really understand how to get into emotion, motion to the ocean, right? Understand how to use connections to all levels when it comes into telekinesis, aerodynamics connections, aerokinesis. Highline channels is its position of direction. Truly understand that once you have an emotional system of balance, nature is going to find you in less resistance. Your position, location, and direction is truly understanding how to line signal across anything to its board. Position location is all lines. So you get a line cross, 5 position location of center, center position location of calculation, in the line ground center, in position of flux capacitor. High channel, travel through it. You guys are traveling through this now. So this is a magnetic high line center, an interference location of electrical ball line center, atom interference, travel location of 12 line center, in direction location 3, line position location of the direction. So it's interesting how we look at these things, but you have to understand the structure. Structure, okay, equals over, okay, equals line, equals grounds, equals box, center position. All right. Now, to understand how things are set up in the nature line, we're going to go through 4 weather patterns: summer, spring, winter, fall. That calculated all levels, code, sys, locations. I'm going to travel you guys into 4-dimensional lines: cosmic universal line, electrical graph interference, data stream, position of program setting, processors, highline channels, in plasma communication line stream. That position, location, and directions. All right. So we got 4 box channels. All right. These are 4 box channels. Okay. So we got summer, winter, spring, and fall. Okay. You're going to travel through the center line connections. You're going to set up the atom line in rotation interference. You have to have the ground locations, weather pattern interference. So you're going to feel cold. You're going to feel hot. You're going to feel cool. Right. And you're going to feel breeze of fall. You have to interline in position location, get into your emotional line system. So there's going to be wind tunnel and position locations into a half pipe. Half pipes coming in highline center, rotation interference, circle locations all levels of winter, circle locations of spring, and position of summer into fall communication. All right. Channel line center and travel position location in the same direction to all levels. Alpha in position alpha, in position of alpha, in position location of alpha. Alpha equals locations of weather, equals weather, equals weather, equals weather. Now, in position location line connection. So you guys are going to be traveling to each other. You're going to see each other locations. The atmosphere line center has to understand all position locations in all line. You have to stand the 4 line center interference, 4 lines, weather line position location is grounds. Now you come to flux capacitor, rotation spin cycle, opens all communication in position of the center line. Center line comes in at flux capacitor, high channel locations of winter, and spring or summer locations of fall. Set course line center to code say locations and high system location calculations. Now the calculus and highline channel is changing all coloration. Coloration all line rotation calculation interference. Flux capacitor in position location of directions. Setting you guys in a position to its nature of its motional system. Highline channels to its calculations, right? Traveling through all levels of code signal. Vector communication, sector lines and calculation, highline centers, okay? Over line center, interference location of atmosphere location equals 4 communication centers. All levels of universal location, equinox, high channel rotation center, rotation interference, triangle force line center, 369, 333 in position locations. Release program setting line center location of Earth and past line in position of present line communication of angelics, interference location of future line of cosmic universal line, communication line triangles and high center line in rotation. Calculation hall line center in rotation center, box position location calculations, all levels of channel line center. Okay, so digital screen center, row graph line interference, 3 weather patterns of lacing line communication system, 4 communication cyclones, high channel high line center, take position location out of equation, high rotation line centers, and 1, 2, 3 location position. Travel line center interference. Okay, you guys are going to center line connections. Go into the sun line. This is you through location. You're going to travel right through all levels of 4 weather patterns of nature line connections. 1, 2, 3. In high center location of sectors, into vectors, quadrants, interdimensional, the intergalactic line system. All right, so you guys are traveling. Have fun. So you got line center 30 minutes on the clock line. That's 30,000 line position locations. Each weather pattern is going to go a coloration path. Center in your position location how you are in relation of emotion. You have to understand how to communicate with weather and all level system. First, you have to bounce at the vibration location to its equinox because it's all connected to all levels. And remember, you're creating location to Earth, which is all levels of space and time. Your nature position location has its own resources in its highline center. More memory of its information location gives its revenant to its position, to its cosmic universal line of manifestation to its abundance, guys. Okay? So that's eternity standing when you come to structured communication. Triangle line center equals line connections of box. Box position locations equals flux capacitor. High channel line center and position location directions. Opens all signal in high system. All right. So flux capacitor equals line center TV line center box position location calculations coming into delta. Delta equals omega communication system. All right. So in that calculation modification, you have to learn how to use shapes, letters, and numbers in one signal location to all time line center interference to one frequency to one location to one division line center. That's a communication system where you have to truly understand the rotation spin cycles to all levels, how nature has its position, location, and direction, and how it reacts to you in all level of vibration, right? So you come in a nature line, nature equals weather, weather equals box calculation, right? So remember, it's all position location where you start with E equals MC squared. Box is always the center line, but you're always in position location of traveling, okay? So it's a line cross stream in position of constellation path. That's communication line interference. XD1000 comes into center position. Make sure you understand what you're doing with your calculation. Center line positions straight down high center location to its calculations. Opens up another weather graph line center and interference location line interference location nature. Sets course line center and position locations. Opens all new magnetic highway information line connections to its position of its clocking system, to its energy field location, or its torical field. So this is a trend is standing where you have to modify what you're seeing in high line center. You come in position to know exactly how you can be cool inside, how you can be hot inside, how you can be warm inside, how you can be breezy inside, how you can be freezing inside. You have to understand its relation because that's what nature is. It's an emotional system to all levels of equation through structure, right? Because remember, you're coming into your memories of who you are, but you have to understand the recognition of space and time to its clocking location of its box position location of interline. The interline is its relay, okay? Your running program locations of its sector line communications times calculation times pi. Now, this is eternity standing when you come to higher level location, how to use the magnetic highway information system to its clocking system, to its solar graph line center, to its torical field, to its Merkaba, to its ground interference, to position locations, to all levels of 4 weather patterns. Okay, so you have to understand how to travel through line centers north, west, south, and east because each weather pattern has a position of a diamond core. Now, the diamond core line center is position of separation until you understand the emotional system. The emotional system is all levels of you through track locations. So one channel up here and one channel up here is the separation. Now, in position location of directions, this is how it starts, okay? That's how it starts. Now, once you understand that, you stand the center line positions, all levels, north, position of south, and east and west. So you got the south, you got the east, you got the west, and you got the north. North is always equals the location of reference. So if I'm in position location going this way, it's north. This is north. This is north. This is north. That's a diamond. All right? So everything has to be triangulation. It doesn't matter which way you go as long as you understand your emotional system is going with nature and not against nature. Because if you're going against nature, what are you doing with the location? It's changing your body interference location to calculation. So that's a true stand is always use north as a reference location of west, east, west, and south location. Now, once you come into that, you come into highline center, interference location of calculation. XD1000 line center location comes into a crop circle line center interference. Now, in position locations, you come into the align center rotation cycle, high line center interference location, all levels. Goes into a black hole line center location, travel line center, 12 position location, the direction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 position locations calculations. That opens all communication line center interference position locations of nature, setting line centers in all correlation of its emotion, right? So once you understand that, the block system location. So remember, nature, when you look outside line center, the tree knows exactly what day it is in time position of its dimensional lock center. It's understanding the weather of communication of its emotion, which is changing its position location and how it resonates its highline center of letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. It has an emotional system. It has pixel activation system. It knows exactly when it's winter. It knows exactly when it's fall and spring and summer. That's why you can see a tree change over time. It does its own thing. It doesn't calculate through an ego. It only interlines its position location of traction. That's times pi already in position location of what's going on through its formation line system. So it's already manifesting, right? Manifesting is a tree that grows. You're coming into your spiritual growth of your tree formation of life. Opening up the flower recognition of space and time to your heart, recognizing you in all level system of northwest, south, and east to weather pattern line connections, all levels of summer, winter, spring, and fall. Now, understanding your 12 line center, you can travel to position location in all directions, but always use north as a reference. Okay. Now, in that position locations, the coloration changes over time. Now, the triangle force line center changes all line connection, comes into more coloration, right? Once you come into coloration, you come into matrix lock. Matrix lock interference comes into another dimensional setting, changes position locations, and it all depends on where you are through time zone. It's all about seeing more levels of the sun. It's more levels of seeing more levels of communication of the moon. Sometimes the sun is coming more at you. It depends on where you are through your time zone and interference location. It's all levels of reflection, right? Through your perception and how you perceive your projecting of your projection, how you are calculated and modified to highline center to all levels to your triangulation. It's all levels of your weather pattern communication system. So it's all about how to use your heat signature patterns in calculation, all right? So if you walk in a structured room, weather pattern interference, right? So you're sweating, you're touching the floor line center locations of just a water drop. That's a signature pattern over line center locations because you went offline center. In position location directions. When I went into transformation, there was an air conditioner. And every time I go in, it changes the numbers. Trying to understand my rhythm pattern, trying to understand my energy, trying to understand the vibration, trying to understand the frequencies, trying to understand the nature of me and resource, trying to understand me in coloration, trying to understand me in time, trying to understand me in secrecy, trying to understand me in abundance, trying to understand me in manifestation, trying to understand me through thoughts, trying to understand me through positive, trying to understand me through negative, trying to understand me through light, trying to understand me through dark, all through a air conditioner, right? So that's about understanding where you balance these things in the 5-line center. Always 5, 5, 5, 5 is balance of everything. Anything below that is a 4-line frequency position locations coming into all levels of what? Beta. Beta is the lowest frequency location, but it's in a high channel line center. Alpha is a communication to all line center to the heart line. Everything through frequency location is all position location of you and how you use the nature of its resistance to its force communication of its heart line. The triangular force line communication opens all levels of you through track line system. Okay, so that's important. You have to understand every single time you're traveling through the mind. Sequence pattern location all levels, right? So changing line position location changes track locations of travels. All right. So I really want you guys to understand how to get into your structures. Understanding the structures of you. So you got a structure line connection like this. Okay, that's the structure location. All right. So try to understand what it is. Now it's complicated, right? But you can see it's a Z line, right? So it's got barrier communication and one line center and another barrier loop communication, right? So it's Z equals barrier equals box. Okay, flux capacitor in position locations equals travel. All right. So slash protection. That's what that is. That's what this is. So what you truly have to understand from this is this. This is the balanced communication of its equation. And then you can move forward line center interference. This is how you recognize interference location to a tree. Tree formates position location of pixel axis of each line center inference of its hologram structure. It knows exactly what time it needs to lead its system. Trees don't follow, they lead their system of communication. Every tree communicates to every tree through electricity. Now, it's the ground line center inference location calculations. We'll get more into that later. But I want you to understand how you can get a rotation spin cycle and understand how to communicate with weather and communication line system, how to rotate line centers of Mother Earth in a formation location to its abundance of communication, all through the heat signature locations of inside you, right? So understanding the grounds of you, the process communications, the inner line locations, the data stream interference line connections, all programs set in aligning and rotation, okay? So understanding this is the same as that. If anything's offline position, this will not its position and will disappear. Calculation high stream interference, all level position location. Signal high channel, back in communications, understand the grounds, understand the position of flux capacitor high channel, electrical light communication system. All right, so you have to truly understand how to balance yourself more levels of inside through emotion. Emotion equals line center locations of nature. Energy line center, circle line interference, take the E line center interference locations, all levels in position. So you basically do a triangle line center locations. So once you get into nature line, you go into 3. You can go into line 3 here and 3 here and 3 here. All right, 3, 6, 9, and 12. Right, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 equals 3. All right. So it's all position locations in heart, mind, and soul. This is directional locations. Now, if you see a 3-line center, it's offline in rotation, right? You have to understand if you're in the heart, mind, soul location of nature, nature has to recognize your number sequence location of calculation. If it doesn't, if it's in a 3-line center, what's off position? The emotional system. So to get back in high center location, you have to understand how to set position locations into a line center. So 3 equals line center locations into all levels of a diamond core. High line center location equals line center location of 4. There it is. Back in the 4-line center in northwest, south, and east. So it's reference location of its nature. So it's true to understand how to use core line centers of triangles, communication interference of geometry setting, how to set line center interference of nature in its own resistant location of its triangle force high system. So the triangulation is all levels of view. It's how you calculate and modify your coloration position location of time. The high line center and its interference location is all levels. You got 4 positions. 4 equals 4 equals 8-line center. 8 is position location to all levels in position location into flux capacitor. Right? So 4 equals 4 equals 8. 8-line center comes in position location to its triangulation. Triangulation line center location comes into a timestamp. Timestamp comes into a box position. Center line connections takes the infinity system out of equation. Ooh-ah. All line center interference. So infinity in position locations. Infinity equals 8, 8, 8, 8. Position location in the calculation. All right? So that's a true understanding what nature is. Nature resides in the levels inside you. Until you understand that, you'll be in a resistant location of a channel. The channel operational location is all levels of calculation. Bracket high center location of 8 equals line centers negative over positive. Positive in position locations equals negative equals bracket and high center locations, all levels, into 4. Right? So you got 4 position locations of 8. 8 position locations of 8. High line center line connection, triangulation. So it's all about balancing, okay? Balancing you inside through all numbers, right? Remember we're going through allocate line center and interference location of program setting, reposition location on line, rotation centers of 4, 4, 4, 4 equals locations, all levels, 4, 8, right? 8-line center, so there's 8, okay? And there's 8, right? 8 equals location of 16, right? So that's 16-line center. 16 equals 1 times equals 16,000, okay, of communication, right? All through capacity high system. Now that's nature line center and triangulation, but you need the triangulation to its position location of calculation, All right. So this is a true understanding where you have to really understand the number sequence, the pattern, line, center, location of nature, and how it comes into its own resistant location of its own ego, of you. Because nature doesn't have an ego. You have to get out of the resistance of its position location of calculations. That's the only way you're going to be able to understand anything in this program setting, right? Through its computer operation. So we're all having a lot of fun here, right? So I'll give you guys 5 more minutes, line center. I'll take you out. So understanding what you're seeing as all levels of senses, right? Senses and equation line center. You have 5 line centers, 6 position of all levels, ESP. The external sensory perception equals location of its line division of 4 communications of sector communication over factor communication line to box of TV reception location of nature of resistance times pi. So, boy, we have a lot to talk about now, don't we? All right. So in that position location, it's all levels of triangulation, guys. You just have to understand that you are the center operations of 4 seasons in all communication, right, of nature and its connection. So understanding the plasma web channel communication line stream, understanding 4 position location comes out of its equation. That's all, right? So your balance line center, you have your ground line center, you got a rotation spin cycle, high interference location of fluctuation, flux capacitor, okay? So at high position locations to its diamond core, then you come into north equals its reference. Remember, you have your east line, you have your west, and you have your south line communication, right? Now you come into position locations, you can set up a new dimensional line center into a half pipe position location, travel, right? Coming in position location, our line center. There's a half pipe location, right? From here to here. See the intelligence? All right, so that's me in position. There's my nose, my mouth, communication. You're always an intelligent line string. So that's how nature has its communication line. Nature communicates on so many levels of dimensional setting. It has a pixel activation stream. It correlates its line center of cold into freezing, into warm, into lukewarm, in position location of directions, anything through all levels of a breeze, anything through hot, or anything in that calculation. Okay? You have to understand the resistance of nature, the colorations of nature, the pixel activation, the holograms of location of a tree. What does it do? You look at the tree every single day, it's not going to change. It changes over time. But it goes through its journey. It doesn't look for its destination. It knows exactly what it's doing every single day. So that every single day is what? 1 day position location. The position of the tree is basically on its earth without its past of its position. It's already in its future of calculation. So there's a lot of things you have to understand how to set these things up, guys. All supervision. All right. Yeah, correcting motion in space, correcting nature line centers, correcting you through your ego locations equals equation, high center interference of times pi. Time calculus over factor, high center in position location of direction. All right. All right. 28 line centers in all levels. 2 minutes to go, which is basically 200 line centers and 2,000 line connections, right? So, yeah, it's about bringing things together, understand more levels of nature. So as you come back, you understand what nature is. That's why you can't ignore these things, guys, because it's all connected from inside. You are nature of its own resource. You have to learn how to triangulate it and balance your system locations of all electrical system. That's all. So it's a harmony. It's a rhythm. It's a symphony. It's a rotation. It's a spin cycle. It's an activation stream. It's a coloration. It's a communication. It's an electric light connection. It's a ground interference. It's electrolyte interference. It's position location. It's a panel line center. Rotation line connections, all through a tree. How important is it to understand to go to school through memory? You go to school gives you everything to what? Not just the memory of communication, understanding the truth of communication sets you free. So, all right, high center line and rotation calculations. Let's go in line center locations 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Gotcha. Guys are back in calculation. All right. So, it's interesting how we look at things, how we kind of see things where you look at the tree. I always say the tree or anything through a bush because it's deleting its own program. It knows exactly what time it needs to understand its communication of its emotion. That's why trees basically stand still. But what you don't understand, it's already in its future. It doesn't have its past of its earth. And that's the separation location with your division locations of calculation. So these are the things you have to work on, right? Working on the process of you is its position location of its triangulation. This is a better understanding what you need to know. It's all levels of you, balancing you inside, and all levels of energy, vibration, frequencies, and harmonics, guys, right? Yeah, that's it. I just went like that, and I took you guys back. So we could discuss that more through program setting and position location directions. But it's all levels of you because you're looking at your flight navigations, right? You're looking at your calculations, your triangulations, times pi, over cross line centers, factory communication line stream, times position, box center, box calculation, box interference. You'll pick these things up. It's all codes of you inside to understand nature. Because you are all levels of nature. You become nature. You don't see nature, you become nature. Right? So what we just finished going through is all levels of you. Okay? Now, all you have to do is understand more levels of nature inside through its vibration because it's reacting to you through your Schumann resonance. And you have to release all lines of communication of your past of its earth to get in that calculations, your pre-coded line center locations. So the past of its earth is its position of its presence, which is calculated to its future. 333 equals 69. All right, infinity locations calculations. Coming into the equinox of its cosmic universal line. All right. So hope you guys had fun. I know I did. It was a beautiful thought and communication line stream interference. So tomorrow we'll get more into planet changing, synchronized interference location calculations, all levels, how to line barrier your laser direct locations of perception. Adios, everybody.